Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Oh boy. Mr. Z, you starting this off by telling people F you? What you got going on, Mr. Z? Yes, F you. F you to America and this entire society for choosing your daughters over your sons. So now you got to eat the consequences, right? Okay, so for those of you that have checked out the links in the description, I did add more links as time continued, so hopefully you guys were able to check them out. I did add a Dave Ramsey link like all of 5 or 7 minutes ago. Yeah. So um let's get through this. I put up Scott Galloway, who is well-meaning professor out of NYU, PhD, if I'm not mistaken. And Scott Galloway, from what I can see, cares about men and the outcome of men and boys and just Americans, it looks like. And he's politically left-leaning, but he's not, whimsically, all the way falling off the table progressive, right? Now, I'm here to say, if what Scott Galloway says is true, which is the wealth for 70-plus-year-olds has increased um, in comparison to 70-some-odd-year-olds generations ago, and the wealth for, I think he said under 40 years old, was it under 30 or under 40, has decreased by what he said, 24%, something along those lines. I might have the numbers a little off, compared to 40-some-odd or 30-some-odd-year-olds generations ago. Then you get what you get. Dear America, you decided to elevate your daughters, fine, above your sons. Okay, to regulate your sons, fine. Then eat the consequences. Dear women, we expect you to go along with the program, fine, and have fun fighting for the top. And what Scott Galloway is saying, and he has continued to say, is essentially women want the top 10%. We understand that. We also understand, for the most part, they'll settle for the top 20, maybe top 30, 40%. And all the rest of you, well, so if that means more and more women are going to be comfortable single with their cat toy, pun intended, we're going to start calling it cat toy, right? Shout out to Yanni. And more women are going to experiment with same-sex loving relationships, shout out to B. Taylor, then so be it. Dear America, if you decided you were going to look out for boomer, essentially white people, white men, right? It's all about white boomers want to hoard all the wealth and then pass it down to their individual children, and the rest of America has to suffer, then deal with the consequences of the rest of America having to suffer. Right? So F you. Right? Your daughters are screaming from the mountaintops. They don't want to settle. F them too. F what they stand for and F what they're going through. Shout out to Snoop. Yeah. Right? Y'all talking about the older Xer and boomer parents who children are still at home and who won't just throw their children out there to the wolves so they could be shredded by you white capitalists, right? So you can milk them for money, the teeny tiny bit of money they have, just to sustain themselves. No, doom spending. Here we come. Can't afford a house, but I can afford this $2,000 bag. Can't afford a house, but I can afford these $3,000 rims for my car. Can't afford a house, but I can afford this $2,000 trip. Huh? Can't afford a house, but I can afford these $200 and $300 and $400 shoes. Yes, F you. These people think they can rig the game against young people, young men, black men, and we're supposed to do what? We're supposed to marry your insufferable, a-hole, mean, condescending, entitled, snarky, rude daughters anyway. F you. No. We're supposed to be cogs in the wheel of a system that you rigged against us. F you. No. And then we're supposed to pass away right before retirement, right before Social Security, so that it could go to your daughters who are now in their late 60s, 70s. F you know. Scott Galloway also speaks about how many young people, I think he said under the age of 30, no, compared to generations ago, don't have children, at least even one. Yeah, F you, we can't afford it. You could bring in those immigrants one generation, they'll be saying the same thing. F you, we can't afford it either. Huh? Y'all want to let the uber wealthy, mainly white folks, hoard all the wealth at the top? Fine. Deal with the consequences. F you. Y'all not only hoarding the wealth, shout out to Dr. Richard Reeves, dream hoarders. Y'all hoarding the wealth, the opportunity, and selling what people on what? Do for self and aspirationalism, toxic aspirationalism, right? Motivational speeches, yawn. Then you want these people's parents, and for the Dame Ramsey clip, it was a black woman on there, but of course, speaking of Dave Ramsey, and what she was saying is, yeah, these parents, which they're really saying by letting their children still live with them, is they don't. You're telling your children you don't trust them. No, these parents know how pernicious this system is, how predatory this system is, because they're living it. And no, am I saying it's right? No, yes. Are they kind of handicapping their children? Yes, but they're weighing: do I keep my child here a little bit longer as a young adult, or do I send them out there for the wolves? Do I send them out there to a market where we're allowing these developers or whoever they are, these investors, to buy up whole neighborhoods of single family homes? Huh? Huh? So you want these parents to kick their kids out at a young age for adults, young adult age, so that they can be what? Pray for you while you sell them on hard work and 60-hour work weeks? Absolutely not. Right? So, shout out to Scott Galloway for actually being honest about how rigged the system is for young people. and how he can understand why young people aren't participating, don't believe in the system, right? It's not hard to explain. It's not hard to understand. Everybody gets it. Everybody's pretending like they don't know. No. White boomers hoarded all the wealth for them and their children, their individual children. Fine. They're going to be the ones to pass on the wealth to their children. Their children are going to be the movers and shakers of the next generation when the boomers finally pass away. Right? So for all of us younger Xers, us millennials, you older Gen Z, who dads are boomers because they was out here smashing women 15 and 20 years older than them, right? Huh. I said 15 and 20 years older than them. Sorry. They were smashing women 15 and 20 years younger than them, younger than them. These are the people who are going to have the best opportunities. Okay, fine. Right? Fine. And so the rest of us are supposed to do what? Especially when the data shows how much more difficult it is to climb your way out of poverty in our current state. So it's interesting when we hear the opportunities, and I wonder how many of you get this pushback when you speak to people about the hierarchy now, right? And the difficulty now, and they start to, yeah, but social media and the internet and people are making money in so many different type of ways, and cryptocurrency, and yawn, right? Even the most recent article that I referenced, and I'm I gotta put it up on my community tab that speaks about uh, the millennials are gonna be the wealthiest generation, but that's if you already come from money. Emphasis on the if. The operative word, excuse me, is if. If if you already come from money. So this is not Mr. Z telling people that don't come from that environment to just lay down and, die. But it is saying that this is rigged, and what we have is a whole lot of and the last gasp, selfish boomers, white boomers, and their children that stand to benefit, still trying to sell everybody on hard work. Shut the hell up. F you. And I'm telling y'all now, listen close. This ties into the college school scandal also. You're going to have, dear younger Xers, definitely younger Xers, millennials, especially us millennials, younger Xers, millennials, and Gen Z. We're going to have people from our age groups doing extremely well. And more often than you would like to believe, those people are going to come from boomer, maybe even younger silent generation parents that were part of hoarding all of the wealth and opportunity. But they're not going to tell you how they got into the position that they're in. They're never going to tell you, oh yeah, I inherited a house. Oh yeah, my granddad left me $500,000, $250,000, right? I inherited an apartment complex. I inherited a duplex. They're not going to tell you that. So when you're at work and they're at work and you're earning your $60,000 and they're earning their y'all got hired the same time, y'all make the same money, but you're wondering how in the hell is he living that life and I'm living this life? Because he has $2,500 passive income coming in from a property that he's renting out, that his dad left him, that his mom left him, that his uncle left him, that his grandparents left him or her. Right? So F you to America for allowing for neoliberalism to bite working class people. And remember, Scott Galloway, professor, F you America, you let the game get rigged this much against the masses of young people. And when we say young, we're really saying under the age of 40, maybe 45. Y'all let the game get this rigged against them? Fine. Deal with the consequences. F you. And if that means that your sons become more and more indifferent and they just want to have their shout out to Dr. Thunder, their Jergens lotion and their PlayStation, okay, fine. Your daughters don't have no one to marry, so be it. Tell them to go eat vagina or go stand in line and grab a ticket to hopefully maybe baby trap the upper middle class white dude. Tell all the train tracks. Tell all the women to grab a ticket and hopefully they can baby trap the upper middle class white dude. That's all of them. So you're going to keep on selling people an opportunity that you're stripping from them. Okay. Apparently these people don't learn from European history, but okay, fine. Guillotines and torch cities, but whatever. What do I know? Right? Huh. So it's F the other side. It's F you. Right? Huh. Exactly, like exactly, lithium. As Sarge Willie Pete usually says, get carjacked. Exactly. Exactly. Right? Exactly. Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. And Compassionate says that issue is just going to make whiteness more sought after. Exactly. And that's the way they wanted it. We already watched this game. We know what's going on. These white folks, these upper middle class, solidly middle class, really, but solidly middle trending to kind of aspirational middle class white folks, white dudes, that if they just play the game the right way, they might get lucky and catch themselves in an upper middle class situation. But definitely upper middle class and kind of lower rich white dudes go to the same schools. They go to some of them go to your state schools. They go to your Ivies, right? They go to some of your elite schools. So they mingle with a whole bunch of different type of people. So yeah, they have a Latina girl they pipe in for 6 months, and then a black girl they pipe in for 6 months. An Asian woman, okay, that lasts a little bit longer. They're with her for maybe a year and a half. They graduate college or university, and they go marry the boring, sex having, extra regular pace face white woman. And they occasionally cheat on her with one of their coworkers that's way cuter than her. Somebody tell me I'm lying. Someone tell me I'm lying. Right? That's the way they want that. That is the way these people want the game rigged. You're right, Compassion. All it's going to do is make whiteness sought after more, particularly white men, right? And this is not something Mr. Z is making up. Dr. Jennifer Lundquist, once again, PhD in demography and sociology, said it herself. This is a researcher, right? Huh. I'm sorry, y'all. Freaking loser driving slow on the expressway. They be walking these cars on the expressway, I promise you. But yeah, so, you know, so yeah, deal with the consequences. Eat the consequences of men's indifference, young men indifference. What are we going to do with our daughters? Tell them to eat vagina. Huh? Tell them to get comfortable single with their cat toy and a bowl of ice cream and whatever rom-com they're gonna watch and drop a tear by themselves in their lonely ass apartments. Shout out to Chrissy and Yanni. Huh? Y'all want to rig the game against your sons because which you're afraid of your sons? Fine. Give the opportunity to your daughters. Give the opportunity to the women immigrants because you ain't gonna give it to the men. Not like that, like that, like that. Shout out to Edward Anderson, right? Saying, watching these people deal with the black ones, but of course, you rig the game against the boys and the men. Then deal with the consequences. All these men won't step up. We don't have to. And what exactly did you do to incentivize us? What? Raise a bunch of insufferable, mean, condescending materialist daughters? And we're supposed to take them? You better leave first when you die. And Harry Kicker, it's more her that doesn't want to be with us because you made her. You made her delusional. That's the funniest part. She needs the men, but she's so delusional she thinks she doesn't. Huh? All these Steve Harveys, I should have added that clip. It's a man's job, F you too. It's a man's job to take care of a wife and some kids and a family. Yawn. You better tell Lori Harvey her clock is ticking. You better believe, Steve, you better believe it. You better, Steve, if you let Lori Harvey get too old and she start complaining about the dating scene, do you know how loud we're going to be laughing? Do you know how loud we are going to be laughing? If you let Lori Harvey get too old, talk about what she's not going to settle for, throwing a temper tantrum, do you understand how loud we're going to be laughing? All right, Lori. Lori, you got, all right. Mess around. We're going to send you to them white dudes. You ain't going to have a choice. Have fun with your garbage ass sex having Arab dude. We're gonna make sure you end up with an old white dude. Mess around. Shout out to Aoki Lee Simmons. Watch it. Watch us. Huh? Ain't gonna be nothing funnier than knowing that some old white pot-belly millionaire dude is laying up on top of you so that you could still have the lifestyle you're used to. Huh? So Shaq is telling you he's going to make sure that his daughters are straight more than his sons. Okay, fine. Steve Harvey's telling you it's a man's job to take care of some wife and some kids when they raise the most insufferable, entitled, Exhibit A, Lori Harvey, most insufferable, entitled, materialistic, consumerist women known to man ever in human history. Yanni, Chrissy, Paris. Shout out to Paris' husband. All right, Playboy. All right. Then your insufferable a-hole daughters can't get or she actually their money and makes it even more difficult. And then you looking at what, us? Why won't you step up for who? For who? F you. Hoard all the wealth, give it to your daughter, and then tell one of us to earn even more than her. Get out of here. You better hope she married by the age of 35, 30, 28. Right? Or she gonna be the sugar mama to some other woman. Or young man. Young men, please make sure you get your PlayStation and your car notes paid off. Get the PlayStation. Get the Xbox. Don't live with her. Whatever you do, do not live with her. To all you young men that's going to be dropping D off to these older women, do not live with her. Right? Exactly, Jake. And Jake says compromise for what? Right? Huh. Compassionate sis. Lori Harvey gonna go out like Eartha Kitt. Right? Huh. Oh, I didn't know Young Grizzly said that. And Jake says, get a rose and leave us alone. Right? Yeah, exactly. Better you said Princella gonna get him. Yeah, Princella waiting for them on the other side. B. Taylor is a prime boy. That B. Taylor story. F you, America. Exactly. Let Princella and those ladies from A Space for Us wait for them on the other side. Huh? You want to starve your sons out of opportunities so you can hoard it at the top for mainly the rich white elite dudes? A couple of immigrants and their sons? And your daughters? Fine. Deal with the consequences. Eat the consequences. So let Princella wait for them on the other side. Huh? Exactly. If B. Taylor is to be believed, she spent a year celibate. She had broke up with her fiance. It didn't work out. And B. Taylor waited for her ass. Got her. Huh? And Compassionate says they're being regulated to younger and younger guys. The latest teacher-student situationship was a 10-year-old consequences. America refuses to. America, every time they get way too loud and out there, then okay, ladies, okay, and they try to shame them, like how they tried to shame them with the Cheesecake Factory thing. No, America, your daughters are this insane because you encouraged it. Now eat the consequences. Eat the consequences of insufferable women that the men their same age said absolutely not. Ending up preying on your sons that are 20 years younger than them. You heard right. 30-some-odd-year-old teachers preying on 16 and 17-year-old boys. You want to know why? Because you made her an insufferable asshole. She does not have a man. Or she has one that's barely tolerating her and she knows it. Y'all want to keep on talking about, oh, these men are they're in their 40s and they're preying on the girls. You mean the 22-year-olds? The 23-year-olds? I would like to direct you to Black America, where it's a regular occurrence for a 40-year-old woman to be engaging in adult fun with a 23-year-old young man. Huh. with a 17-year-old young man. Oops, young boy, yikes. Someone tell me I'm lying. Years and years and years ago, Tommy Sotomayor interviewed. It wasn't a dude that said he. Did he say he smashed Keith's mom? I can't remember who he smashed. One of those dudes out of Chicago, one of the drill rappers' moms, and he was way younger than her. Huh? So America's gonna keep on pretending like it doesn't see. Okay, okay. And Jake says FBG duck. Okay, exactly. And Joe says lack of intimate relationships type of excuses, touch starved type of excuses, right? Huh? I have a whole different stream I want to do on touch starved and these 30 and 40-year olds talking about they've never been in a relationship. You're 40 and you've never been in a relationship. There's a whole leftist critique I can make about feminism plus capitalism and what that equals for a lot of people. Women, everybody keep on talking about the epidemic of single lonely men. Ain't nobody talking about these women and how they be crying themselves to sleep at night and behold terrors at work. Huh? Because you're trying to shame the men into taking your a-hole daughters off your hands. And why would we? You siphoned the money away from us. Why would we? You took the stability away from us. You gave it to your daughters. Now your daughter can afford her own apartment. Okay, that's good. By her goddamn self. Oops. Huh? So let her afford her apartment by her goddamn self. And mop those tears up by herself. Take out trash by her goddamn self. Goes bump in the night by her goddamn self. Huh? We're gonna keep on talking about how insufferable men are. Fine. We're gonna keep on talking about how lonely these men are. So the loneliness epidemic with men, with young men. Okay. So, you know, Scott Galloway, um, and Dave Ramsey. Well, not so much Dave Ramsey, but Scott Galloway actually sounds concerned because he's doing the social math. He's like, "Ooh, this ain't gonna look good." And I want to be very clear: it's not gonna be young black men that go out doing all type of, you know, mass deletions. We'll call it, right? It's not gonna be young black men that does that. And y'all give me 1 second. I know I'm in a dead zone. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Hopefully, you guys can still hear me. Okay, let's do that. Let's stop right there. And there we go. Right? So yeah, Scott Galloway is doing the social math, and he's realizing, wait a minute, if we don't get this under control, as he said, we're producing way too much of the most dangerous people in society. He should have said white, single, lonely young men, right? Huh. Yes, I saw it. I saw it, right? He almost teared up. He almost teared up when he did the interview that I have linked. Not the one on MSNBC, the other one, right? Not even almost. He did tear up. And Jake says, single women owning more property than men isn't a flex. It's a long-term safety concern unless they are tooled up. Some of them are, most of them are not. We both know it. Huh? Okay, I will. I will. I will. Let's shoot for Friday. And Vic, we'll shoot for Friday, Vic. And Vic says, Z, you do a panel on that, and I will most definitely come up to speak. I got stories, right? So that's, huh. You can tell that Scott Galloway actually cares, and he's doing the math, and he's like, and what I respect about him is the America took a chance on me. I wasn't elite. I was extra regular smegular, and I was barely making it even in college, right? But once again, Scott Galloway, you got to add the white part. You got to add the white part, right? And it's when I and what I'm hearing Scott Galloway say is, I finally got my act together and I just skyrocketed, right? And he speaks about how we're so obsessed as a society with exclusive that the people that graduated school, graduated college and university want to keep it as an exclusive institution. So they make the admissions process so much more difficult, right? Huh. Yeah, he said it should be based off on and GC says Scott said affirmative action should be based on one color green. He did say he did clarify that on one of the I want to say interviews I saw, one of the conversations, and he was like, the daughter of a Indian tech billionaire shouldn't get affirmative action. So I get what he's saying. He's saying base it off of class, which here we go with the left. Here we go with the it's going to disproportionately benefit, right? So I get what he's saying, right? Because think this. Okay, I'm Haitian descent. Imagine a judge in Haiti send their daughter or their son to America, and those young adults are able to use affirmative action to get slots into universities and colleges, but they're coming from money. They're coming from status, right? And so I respect the example that he used of like the daughter of an Indian tech billionaire should not be like what? Should not be getting affirmative action. How is this affirmative action? Exactly. Hitflix. Hitflix is disproportionately equals on paper, not in real life. We know that, right? So yes, America, you decided to put the thumb on the scale for the girls and the women. And so now we're speaking about, oh, 60, it's 60%, 60-40 split college and university women to men. Oh God, what are we gonna do? Women's hypergamy. Tell them to eat vagina. Tell them to get in line for the rich white dude. Tell them we don't care. No, these men gotta step up. No, we don't. F you. Huh? All that, and I see all that man versus bear stuff and all that. Y'all, huh? Oh, you say we need men because we need men to protect us from who? From other men. Don't worry about it. Soon you won't have to worry about that. Whatever other men decide to do with you, so be it. Huh? Huh? As Jake said, I hope y'all tooled up. This society decided to go with XX chromosome. Fine. Eat all of the consequences of choosing XX chromosome. So you will have elite white sons at the top, a whole horde of women chasing after them, a couple of brothers here, one or two Latinos there, a couple of Asians there. They got the money, but they don't got the status because they're not white. Huh? They have the education and the money, but they don't have the status because once again, they're not white. Huh? And so everybody, oh, these men need to step up. No, we don't. Especially when the game is rigged against us. How is that supposed to work? The white boomers hoarded the wealth. They're hoarding the wealth right now as we speak. They hoarded the opportunities and then gave it to their children. They sell to everyday people dreams and aspirations, and they make the aspirationalism toxic because the climb up is so steep. Once again, let Z remind y'all that when Tone Talks interviewed the real Rick Ross, not the rapper Rick Ross from South Florida, the real Rick Ross' mother owned a house in LA as a high school dropout. Owned a home in LA as a high school dropout. F you, America. Because right now we have whole college graduates that can't afford a home. Definitely not by themselves, not by themselves. Huh? Y'all realize that at one point we had single black moms that were not on government assistance with 2 and 3 kids working a regular 40 hours, maybe an hour here or two of overtime. Single black moms with 2 and 3 kids working a regular job, a teacher. right? And they could afford a single family home. Where do they do that out now? And Ghost Cinematic says Scott Galloway be gaslighting regarding the manosphere. He does. I understand. I understand what Dr. Richard Reeves and I think he's a Dr. Scott Galloway. I think I understand what they're doing, and it's framing it in a way where it's beneficial to women to give a f about what men and boys' issues are. They're attempting to appeal to the better nature of women, and even to just to the pure self-interest of women by saying if you're heterosexual and if you're pretty sure your daughter is heterosexual, you might want to care what's going on with the boys and men. If you hope to end up with a man, you might want to care about what happens to the boys and men, right? And the women are so short-sighted and myopic and so hell-bent on proving that they're better than the men and so delusional that they think they watch so many of these damn rom-coms, they think that the elite rich white man is going to come down from Mount Olympus and pick one of them. Even working class white women be thinking this. Ha! Yeah, right. Get piped and tossed. Just like black women, right? Just like those all those mestizo Latinas, almost white looking Latinas. There can only be one wife of Jeb Bush, ma'am. I don't even know why we call him Jeb because the B in Jeb is Bush, but okay, fine. Right. Huh. So America did for its daughters, fine. Did not do much for its sons. Okay. And now your 42 and 43 and 45-year-old daughters are yelling, and your 38-year-old daughters are yelling, and the 35-year-old daughters are yelling, and your 32-year-old daughters are yelling, and your 28 daughters still think they have more time. Your 25-year-old daughters are delusional. Your 22-year-old daughters think they're going to be 22 forever. Huh? So F you, America. F whatever results come about. To hell with it. Huh? Half of your daughters said, I don't want to have a kid anyway. I don't want to be married anyway. I'm gonna be a rich auntie. Rich auntie making $48,000 a year. Get out of here. Half of these women said, I'm gonna be a rich auntie, barely making $50,000 a year. Not even making 60. Rich auntie. Okay, yeah, that's it. Huh. So I encourage y'all to look at, especially that long interview. I know it's almost 2 hours long. Um, you know, for the MSNBC interview, of course, Scott Galloway was on a roll. And what happened? What happened, Z? Somebody comes in with the financial literacy conversation. You know that made Z almost throw his phone across the room, right? Yeah, the problem is our young people in the financial literacy, they don't know how to be. And this is that these young people don't know how to balance a checkbook type of conversation. Yawn. This is the young people don't know how to balance a checkbook. That's the real issue type conversation. Huh. To derail the real, and shout out to Scott Galloway because he kept on saying, the people in this room, like the people in this room. He's low key jabbing at them. The people in this room, the people in this room that know politicians, the people who in this room who cousins and uncles and aunts are movers and shakers in DC, in state capitals all around the country, have rigged the game against the masses. Primarily the boys and the men. Because y'all only really fear the boys and the men. Plus, it makes it easier when you don't have a challenger to eeny, meeny, miny, mo which one of these women is going to be your next side chick. Huh? So, yeah, Scott Galloway called him out. And when he did that, did you see any of them challenge him? Not a single one. Huh? Did anyone challenge what he was saying? And Lord Luxman says there is a bit of truth in that, so I wouldn't quite dismiss that claim. I'm not dismissing it all the way. I know that's not the issue. It's a issue. Financial literacy is a issue. It's not the issue, though. You get everybody in America, all the working class people, working poor people, financial literate, right? But if homes are costing $420,000, right, and the median household income is $74,000, you could be as financially literate as you want. I don't know how you're gonna afford this house. Average new car price is $50,000. Have fun with that. 48,000, 50. Right. So no, I think financial literacy is a problem. I don't think it's the problem. I honestly think it's an excuse. Yeah, we rigged the game against you, but we're really not going to talk about that. So we're going to talk about the fact that you rather spend $20 on lunch because that's your issue. The problem is you're spending $20 on lunch. That's your issue. It's not the Powell memo and the fact that since the 1970s we decided, yeah, we're just going to hoard the wealth and use our money as a weapon against working class people. And we're going to like kill the unions and stuff like that. Yeah. We're going to choke the average person out. We're tired of all these protests, all these marches, black people, tree huggers, LGBTQ women. Yeah, let's just choke them out financially. No, that's not the issue. It's financial literacy. 50 years later, and now your sons and your daughters don't want to marry each other. Mainly your daughters don't want to marry your sons because they think they're better than them. And they try to hold out for the rich white dude to come and sweep them off their feet. And the rich white dude does sweep them off their feet 30 minutes at a time. Not even 30 minutes at a time. More like 10. 5? Minute Man? Yeah. Huh. Compassionate says wages been incongruent with inflation for decades now, and Negroes steady talk about financial literacy. I get it because we were taught to think of it that way, right? I'm not even so mad, more disappointed, but I get it, right? I get it. You were taught to think about these things hyper individualistically, and if it wasn't if you don't occupy certain spaces, you will be so down on yourself about your financial situation. And I'm talking about people that's making pretty okay money. May not necessarily be six figures yet, but you doing alrightish. And alrightish can't afford you a house. And then these people turn around and you have the Dave Ramsey saying you got to give them, they don't have no grit. Yawn. Right? No, the game is way too rigged. No, we don't expect if you work a part-time job, you should be able to afford a McMansion. That is not what we're saying. Stop being obtuse. You'll have some random person hear Z talking and be like, "Oh, you want to be unemployed and afford a house?" Stop. Huh? What's going on, Dr. Dunbar? Dr. Dunbar says, "Keep up the good work, Z. I was watching a bunch of Scott Galloway stuff last weekend. Yeah, I've been you know, there's certain names that every like let's say 3-4 months I circle back around to, maybe every 6 months at the most, right? So you binge watch all their interviews, whatever lecture they might have had, right? And so I'm doing that for a bunch of scholars, and when you type in their names, it actually oftentimes gives you somebody else to look up because they did an interview with someone, and you're like, oh crap, I don't even know this person. Oh, okay, you got a bunch of important people you've interviewed, or people that have an interesting point of view, or they were um on stage with another person that you enjoyed what they had to say, and then boom, there go another person to look up, right? Huh. And exactly, see, and Compassion says, "Bro, my best friend is a surgeon from University of Chicago, and because he just finished his fellowship and not rich yet, he feels like a burden on his girl. I have to remind him of of reality constantly. He's 30." Bro, Compassion, I'm telling, like, it's it. I get it. It's fascinating when you hear people in. It's a good thing to a certain extent to have that like motivation and that like angst to kind of like get the money now. We got to move. We got to go. We got things to do. True. With that, a lot of that is desperation, right? A lot of that is comparing and contrasting yourself to the highlights of somebody else's life on social media. And if you think we're doing that, whew, the women, Jesus Christ, right? Somebody takes the highlights of their life, the vacation they just went on, right? The beaches in whatever Caribbean country that they went to. They take the highlights of their life, a trip to Hawaii or whatnot. They put it on Instagram. They put it on IG, right? On TikTok. And then you compare yourself to that, and now you're depressed. Right? Huh. So men are supposed to work themselves to the bone and to death. Fine. Okay. All right. For what? F you, America. For what? For your daughters that are 25 with 30 bodies on them? Absolutely not. Mr. Z, you lowballing. I might be. There's a pun in there. Compassion, well, I feel like you called me out with that post you posted earlier. Because it's me. Huh? No, America, we are not going to wife up your daughters walking around here with more bodies than a goddamn cemetery. Absolutely not. Huh? Absolutely not. Could we stop producing? You know, when Dr. Scott Galloway says America's producing too many of the most dangerous people on earth with, single lonely men and however he phrases it. And I'm like, yeah. What about your daughters though? America's producing too many of the most insufferable people on earth. Entitled, spoiled brats that are delusional and have watched way too much television and has consumed way too much social media, right? So Dr. Scott Galloway speaks about, an increased rate in young women, deleting themselves. And I'm like, yeah, what about the ones that haven't? What about the ones that won't? That once again walk around comparing themselves and definitely comparing the young men that they're around to the highlights of somebody else's life on social media. Do you understand how much of a, I'm going to purposely mispronounce this word, terror? Do you understand how much of a terror your 28-year-old daughters are? Your 27-year-old daughters are? Your 25 and 26-year-old daughters are? I'm not even talking about the 30 plus year olds. Do you understand how much you understand what you have released onto young men? When I say young men, I'm really saying like under the age of 40, maybe 45. Yanni is like 30, 31, everyone. Paris is like 30, probably 29, 30, 31. She's not 31. She's like 29, 30. Huh? We're not talking about Crystal and Karazin's age. We're not talking about Chrissy's age. Paris and Yanni are like, they're under the age of 32. If I'm not, the oldest Yanni could be is 32, and I doubt it. I think she's like 31. You imagine? And there's a bunch of Yannies running around the dating scene. What's the other one that's on TikTok mainly? Jade Keating or whatever, Get 'em Jade or whatever her name is, with the septum ring. There's a bunch of her running around. And these are the people that young men are supposed to turn into wives, namely young black men? Absolutely not. Shout out to Nigerian brother who's married to Paris. All right now. Bowser is who's out in the dating scene. Shout out to her man too. Pff, all right now. Huh? That little all mentally thrown off young black woman that O'Shea Duke Jackson covers all the time, the divester. The divester that said all black men are dusties. And don't matter if you're professional, it don't matter what you do, you're a dusty. Women like that are in the dating scene. Absolutely not. Right? And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat? Absolutely not. You can't do nothing with that. And men are supposed to do what with that? Turn that into a wife? No, F you, America. Absolutely not. Nope. Nope. Can't do it. Especially when you've hoarded the wealth, the dreams, the opportunities. But you can sell toxic aspirationalism and motivational speech. Absolutely not. Don't want it. right? And low volume male says, women, men need to step up. Men, what's the incentive? I want to be a kept man of leisure. Right? Huh. But no, so what women are doing now, and shout out to Dr. Chris Marsh. She's black woman. I think she's in her early 50s, maybe. I think she kind of slipped up and gave her age. PhD in demography and sociology. And she knows the numbers. If you're a PhD in demography and sociology, you are a researcher, bona fide researcher. This is what you do. So yeah, she's in the social sciences, but she took it all the way up, and she's pretty much trying to tell black people, namely black women, to get comfortable single, invest in hobbies. Yes, she know what that mean. Rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. Shout out to Dr. Thunder. Shout out to BGS, to me. Patting myself on the back. Yeah, you know those numbers. Less than 30% of black women gonna be married. Yeah, there we go. Translation. Y'all better get comfortable single, and an increasing amount of black women are not gonna have children. Yep, get comfortable single. Dr. Thunder says, I know Dr. Chris Marsh. That's the one. Yep, KRIS Marsh. Yep, her. Yep, that's the one, Dr. Dr. Dunbar. I've binge watched a couple of her, not even a couple, just about every interview she's done about her book about black people, namely black women being single. I've watched over the past 2 weeks or so. Yeah, I watched all of her interviews about that. And yeah, I ain't gonna say much about your colleague, Dr. Dunbar. I ain't even gonna say much, but yeah, it's something. Look, okay. Rest in peace to one of my cousins. He said this to me once, years ago. He said, "Z, there's something about the way you speak, the way you move. Like he was trying to say that I'm unflappable, or and like that's not true. It's not that I'm unflappable, if that's even a word, right? Um, it's that I just own it, right? I just own it, and then so when somebody hits me with a joke, I can laugh at myself. I can laugh at the joke. You just own it and then move on, and that actually really makes you a good debater, and it makes you good at like getting back on somebody, like get on somebody's ass, right? Because you just own what they said, and it might be true. If you got a gut, just own it. Okay, I got a gut. If you're bald, like Z is, you just own it. Okay, I'm bald. Okay, cool, right? I'm saying that to say, which you find with some men, but definitely with women. Oh boy, definitely with black women. Is they have to like maneuver things and then like sanitize things and reframe things and reword things because of whatever they got going on in their life, or whatever they see that's going on that makes them feel icky, makes them feel uncomfortable. So can we use a euphemism for that so I don't really feel the real weight of what that is? Can we find a different word for that? Can we find some different type of language, a different type of vocabulary for this behavior or this thing or this occurrence that kind of takes the sting out of it, right? Exactly. Is she from the DMV? And Dr. Dunbar says there are so many Dr. Chris Marshes here in the DMV. Man, huh? Compassionate sis, Dr. Dunbar. Next time you see her, tell her the Black Manifest says hi. Man, tell us and tell her Mr. Z from the Black Manifest said hi. Right? I bet, Dr. Dunbar. I bet a whole lot of PhD having or like advanced degree, master's degree, advanced degree having black women who are extremely intelligent in their field, can speak really well, can hobnob and say it Z, knob slob with white folks, right? And can't keep a man worth a damn. White, black, Latino, or otherwise. Right? No, Z, you get it wrong. I'm the one who breaks up with them. Yeah, sure. Right? Because they think having a degree is a personality trait. It enhances their character. Yeah, that's it. They talk about their degree so much, you talk about the weather or deodorant. Hey, if it's really that black men devalue your degree, then why the hell aren't you with a white man? Oops. Ketanji Brown Jackson got her one. Oops. Ah. Right. If black men are the problem and black men devalue education and black men don't want to ensure a step up, then why aren't you with another woman? Yikes. Huh? Shout out to Dr. Chris Marsh. What I will say in her defense is there's no way Mr. Z knows the numbers and she doesn't. She knows the numbers. That's why she wrote that damn book. That's why she tells black people, hey, we better get comfortable still, but the numbers ain't looking good for us. These white men ain't choosing enough. These Latino and Asian men ain't choosing enough. Not enough of us like eating vagina. And many of us think we're better than that. I don't know what we're going to do. Kicked out of my own stream, y'all. Kicked out of my own stream. We're back. We're back. Right? And Dr. Dunbar says, what platform is she on? She did an interview with what is it called? I'm gonna tell you right now because that's the same one Amanda Seals did an interview on not too long ago. I'm gonna tell you right now, and then I just Relationships Restored. So I watched that interview. I watched her interview on SFU Psychology. I watched her interview. Which other one did I watch? Which other one? Um, I'm halfway watching her interview on John Hope Franklin channel. I'm halfway done with that. Yeah. I watched her interview on A Better Love with Dr. Greg. Yeah, I watched a couple of her interviews, right? So yeah. Dr. Dunbar says she's actually from Cali, but is a college professor at University of Maryland. And I don't think she can really say, but it looks like she might get tenure. She kind of like alluded to it on one of her more recent interviews. So yeah. Yep. Ah! I gotta read this one now. Kim has got jokes. KMS says Popeye's fun. That's not even the funny part. And he says Popeye's fun. By the way, I know a reliable notary who can authorize those exit papers. Ed has been asking, demand you to file. Just saying. And for those of you that don't know the ongoing joke between Ed started it. It's funny as hell. Is Ed said, what did he say again? He said, I always want to give the debriefing to the sisters and to black women. And he said, sign the goddamn paper. No, he didn't say sign that goddamn. He said, sign the effing paperwork, Zeus. Sign the effing paperwork. And I don't want to see her in my class anymore. Right? Like I'm the counselor, which I am. Right? I own it. Right? Man. That's funny, KMS. Look. And we got to give them a debriefing. And we got to give them a debriefing. Give them the debriefing before and decide whether we're going to expel them or suspend them, right? If it's going to be a week-long suspension or a 2-week-long suspension, right? And Design and Art says, I went to Maryland, never heard of her. Yeah, no, she's a PhD in demography and sociology. I've watched her interviews. To me, I'm not in the DMV. Obviously, I'm in South Florida. But the educated group of black women I've come across, and we're talking about advanced degree and above, so not even just bachelor's degree, we're talking about master's and above. We're talking about law school graduates. We're speaking about, obviously, like I said, advanced degree and above. The professionals, I want to be careful how I'm saying this because I don't want to. The way I get into those circles, I don't want to get that person in trouble. So we'll just leave it right there. But I've had conversations with these people, and I've gotten to see a couple of these people mingle. And man, there's a lot of single ones of them. Ooh, it's not just in the DMV, Dr. Dunbar. Even down here in South Florida, a lot of them are single, and a lot of them are same-sex loving. And that goes for the men and the women, by the way. Right? It's not just what's his name from Tampa. How did I just lose his name? His goddamn face right there. We just was speaking about him. Jesus Christ. He ran for governor against DeSantis. How did I forget this guy's name? His face is right there. Jesus Christ. Mr. Z, you gotta get better at this. I promise you gotta get better at this. And he has the show with Tiffany Cross and what's her face? And okay. It's gone. Jesus Christ. Okay. And KMS says sign the paperwork. Hey, Ed killed me when he said that. Gillum, thank you. Andrew Gillum. Jesus Christ. Thank you, Vic. Andrew Gillum. But yeah, thank you, Longo. Andrew Gillum. From my state. How did I forget his name? Y'all remembered. Exactly. Right? But yeah, it's not just Andrew Gillum. There's the same-sex loving thing is a serious thing for the women, quiet as kept. See, y'all hear about the men. Y'all don't hear about the women black women, I'm saying, that's engaging in that. A lot of professional black women. And they get to it oftentimes the same way B. Taylor got to it. Been single for long, used to deal with dudes, still low-key deal with men, because when they cheat on their women, they cheat on their women with men. They rarely cheat on their women with other women. They cheat on their women with men. Right? Huh. I will say, and Compassion said, didn't they catch dudes slumped on meth with a male dominatrix? From my understanding, he's the dom, but either way, from I will say this: it was an open kept secret in Florida, right? If you know, you know. Well, not everybody knows, but if you knew, you knew, right? When he speaks about it, I think he said that in the Breakfast Club interview. He pretty much, went out for some drinks and then woke up in the situation he was in. I will say it's not too far fetched. I'm not going to say whether I think he's lying or not. He could be. I will say it's not too far fetched. So that doesn't mean that he wasn't on when he was on before. Ha! There's a pun in there. Meh. But it is possible. And I will say this for his situation, he didn't make it better. You know who you ran against. If you know what Mr. Z is saying. I ain't going to say much. I'm just saying. You know who you ran against. You know what your plans were. And you left yourself far too vulnerable. And that open kept secret might have got exploited. I'll just leave it right there. We will pause right there. If you know, you know. If you can read between the lines, you can read between the lines. I ain't saying nothing. Rest in peace, Easy. I ain't saying ish. Right? So, yeah. Compassionate and lithium. I'm just saying, though. I ain't saying nothing. I'm just saying, you know. Yes, he was already on when he was on. Um, like I told y'all, it was an open kept secret. If you knew, you knew. And hey, you got way too comfortable, bro. You got way too comfortable. Vic, it might be, it might not be. There's a reason why I'm not highlighting y'all comments. Y'all know I usually highlight y'all comments. Y'all, there's a reason. I'm just saying, right? So, hey, bro, you were just way too exposed. Too many people knew how to get at you to make sure you were no longer a threat because it was. And if you don't know, he conceded prematurely. He won the popular. He won. I'm gonna just say. I said it. I said it. He won. He conceded too. He conceded prematurely, and there you go. And so they made sure to get you out the paint the next time, and that's all I'm gonna say right there. We're gonna pause right there on that one. I'm just saying. So I am far less, and yes, this is the lefty and Z. I don't care. Yeah, I said it. I am far less concerned with the potential meth head that's out here doing extracurricular activities with other dudes than I am with um the governor who's out here getting at black people by passing legislation to screw over black people and black youth and what is taught in schools to black children decades into the future, right? If you could have kept that under wraps, apparently not. I would be far less interested in what you got going on with who you got it going on with than what you allowed for us to have to deal with because you couldn't keep your pants up, right? So yeah. So now because you couldn't keep your pants up, now we got to deal with this guy who can't even fake smile. Yeah, and we know why because they could smell it on him too, right? And Lithium said 20% of black men voted for that, the current governor of Florida. Yet black men get blamed for Abrams losing. Fake news, bruh. I'm just saying. And Red Falls says, Black women have been on the down low for a minute. I heard a aunt was doing that while she was married. This was back when I was a kid, back in the 1980s. Thank you, Vic. Woke up on the floor. His campaign was done. Then he did the interview, and then the interview, and it looked like he had like borderline pink lipstick on. That if there was any salvage, any way to salvage his reputation after the situation, reputation situation. We rhyming. If there was any snowball's chance in hell to salvage the reputation after the fact, I don't see it. But even if there was, after that interview when it looked like your lips were pink, oh, it was done. It was done. It was super done after that. It was done. Right? Compassion, I heard that rumor before. I ain't even going to highlight it. I'm not even going to highlight it. And, hey, look, man. Look, that might be more than a rumor. We go. What are we doing? We going straight tinfoil on Mr. Z channel? That's what y'all trying to do? Compassion, he's from where you from. You should know more than me. Z should know. Apparently, Longo, when we talking about all the DL stuff. Look, I'm not even Hey, forget my channel. I'm still trying to be alive. I don't even have kids yet. Right? Bruh, Vic. It might have been more than fantasizing. I'm just saying. It might be more than fantasizing. Hey, let's just say the Clintons are the only ones getting people out of here. Right? The Clintons are not the only ones getting people out of here. Hey, somebody had something to say once upon a time. That person no longer here. I'm just saying. Vixen, don't get the Clinton special. Hey, y'all know how that go. Man, Z used to drop like every day, at least every other day. What happened? I haven't heard from him in 2 weeks. Right? Hey, Lord Lovesmith, bro, you being loud. Ooh, Lord Lovesmith, you being loud. You loud as hell right now. Y'all done turned this into political gossip. Da-da-da. Right? Just saying. Yeah, have y'all ever see, now we done deviated. What did we say we was gonna call this? Equivalent to like the BGS drift on my channel. But y'all ever wonder why there's not like a political gossip channel? Right? Nope. Right? Tell us what I'm saying. Z trying to be a Boeing whistleblower. All right. Y'all trying to have me out here like Prigozhin. Nope. Right. Afro National, that had me chuckle too. I don't even want to say it out loud. I'm dying right now. Right. Exactly, Vic. Exactly. This is what I can't highlight. Vic says, because people want to live, bro. Duh. Right. Well, y'all better stop playing. Hey, that there is a reason. Because think about it. Do we have investigative reporters anymore? Who's breaking big news? Hey, this corporation doing this. Ooh, let me show you what this politician is doing. We used to have that back in the day. Who's doing that? Right? Who's telling? Hey, talking about a certain aircraft company, right? Who's doing that anymore? Look how they have to organize themselves, right? to drop stories. WikiLeaks anyone? And now look at him. Huh? Julian Assange had to hide out in a goddamn embassy for years, damn near a decade. I'm fixing we on our list now. Look, man, look. We gonna be in Guantanamo Bay? Get waterboarded in this piece. Oh man. Man. This is crazy. And by the way, this still tied to the subject, by the way. Right? This still because it's those same people that approve all of this stuff for their daughters. They talking about the Clintons. Who did what's her face marry? Chelsea. Who did Chelsea Clinton marry? Who is Chelsea Clinton's father-in-law? Huh? I'm just saying. Y'all think Ivanka, y'all think Jared Kushner's dad is the only one that was out here breaking laws and blackmailing, attempting to blackmail family members? Absolutely not. Y'all better find out who Chelsea Clinton father-in-law is. The game is the game, y'all. The game is the game. From politics to corporate, because they're like inextricably linked. There we go. In America, what Mr. Z say? Tie by the hip. Right. If you think those same people we're talking about, I mean, we have one of our elders here. I don't want to put their name out right now because Mr. Z been talking reckless for the past 20 minutes. Right. Pretty much speaks about it. This was a calculus. We choosing our daughters over our sons because we've been produced too many of our sons, and we're afraid they might, overthrow shit. Okay, then. Ooh, I like the and compassionate says, let's face it, the elites be swinging both ways. They raising their daughters to be a mustache to a DL blue blood captain of industry. They not playing the same game we playing. Uh-oh. Bruh, I really want to say what I want to say right now, but they got that dude the hell up out of here. Apparently he attempted to delete himself, and then he did delete himself. I don't need to say anymore. Y'all already know who I'm talking about now. Um, yeah, because they swing it both ways, and they also doing things with a minor. Anyway, so that part, and then they have whole islands where they do things with, yeah, a minor. Shout out to Kendrick. Yeah, just saying. Yep, yep. Anyway, that donor to the Democratic Party that they found two brothers, one after the other, unconscious in his domicile. Isn't he still free? Oops. Didn't both of those dudes OD on meth? Hey, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm talking about a song. Plausible deniability, everyone. I'm talking about a song. I don't know what you're talking about, compassion. I'm talking about the Kendrick song. I don't know what that got to do with anything else. I'm just saying. I like the song, so I'm just randomly reciting the song. So that's why I brought that up. I'm just saying. You know, just saying. Anyway, when we talk about getting people out of here, right? Where's that talking about that? Talking about signing the paperwork, KMS. Hashtag sign the paperwork. Where's the dude comment again? KMS have put it down. I'm trying to look for it again. Wait a minute. Hashtag sign the paperwork. I can't find it right now. But yeah, there we go. There we go. There we go. Hashtag sign the paperwork. I'm gonna find a way to like infuse that into random comments I have. Man. And look at that last name, Lord Love Smith. Look at that last name. I'm just saying. Huh. Compassion says I gotta clip it now for posterity. Right? So look, let's wrap up. Okay. I covered this today and I wanted to channel the rage of I want to say young, even though like really you really going to be considered young after the age of 30, but okay, fine. 45, right? I wanted to channel the anger of young men, particularly young black men, but of young men who have had the system rigged against them from education to employment to prosperity. They have had the wealth drained and then they're gaslit on what they should be and what they wait for it what they need to do. Oh boy, black women. Anyway, I wanted to channel the anger. That's why I put fu, and that's why I put a bunch of songs pretty much saying fu to a society. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Fu to a society that makes it increasingly difficult to on ramp into adulthood. If the goal is for your sons not to be a burden, not only on society, but to also take off the burden on society, women, right? And to subsidize a woman for the rest of her goddamn life. What have we done as a society with social program, with great society programs? Yeah, I said it. That's the inner lefty in me. What have we done to put our sons, that's American young men in general, black men specifically, what have we done to put our sons in the position to take care of our wayward ass daughters? I'll wait. In that case, then tell your daughters to get how they live. Go stand in line for the rich dudes, the upper middle class dudes, mainly white ones, let's be honest. Here's a ticket, stand in line. Or go engage in some same sex loving relationships. Or get some cat toys, pun intended. Right? And here's some batteries for your cat toys. Right? So If America did not invest in their boys, if America did not invest in their young men, then the outcome is, well, what you see now. And so be it, right? And so be it. So, yes, America, F you. To you white capitalists, F you. To you that keep equality and equity and F you too. The women said they're not actually looking for equality. Yikes. To all of you that rigged the game and hoarded all the wealth, F you. For those of you that are attempting to shame men to do for your daughters, die early and leave her their life insurance money, F you. For those of you elite men who are eeny, meeny, miny, mowing all the women, and then we're supposed to be cleanup men and pick her up after you're done with her. Now she's delusional. F you, keep her. Keep her as a permanent side chick. Don't put her back on the market. We don't want her. Shout out to all of you weirdos. Ooh, you weirdos. Ooh, Drake done got her. I want to get her next. What? I didn't even know that was a thing until I found out. Wait a minute. You trying to tell me you local jokers? Y'all see these baddies after Wayne done hit, Drake done hit, Diddy done hit, right? You local jokers. You know the dudes around the way that got a couple of dollars. They doing all right, and they love following behind celebrity men. I didn't even know this was a thing. This is a thing. So y'all like getting at the chicks after Snoop done hit. What? Shout out to Detroit. Right? So y'all found out that Rocky was in town and he hit, and now you want to hit. Hit? Not even hit. Now you trying to make a whole girlfriend. So shout out to you guys, but for the rest of us, F you. And no one, no, Steve Harvey, Lori Harvey does not deserve a man, quote unquote, stepping up to her level. Right? And I'm not saying that she said that. I'm just saying, eventually, TikTok. Netflix and the sloppy second society. I'm telling you, like, I'm like, wait, this is a thing? Right? Oh man. So F you to this society if you're going to continue to rig the game against your sons, against the men, against the boys, and then still expect those men to not only uphold society and not only be the majority of taxpayers, because the men are the majority of taxpayers, but to take care of your wayward ass daughters too? Absolutely not. Earth, if you turn out to be right, I am going to be laughing my I don't even know that wow. And Earth says prediction for 2037. I don't know, he's kind of old. I don't is he still gonna be he might still be here, but he's gonna be way too old then. right? And Earth says prediction for 2037: marriage of Steve and Lori Harvey. Bruh. Damn, Compassionate, you move fast. Damn, you move fast, bruh. The the notification already came up to my phone. Jeez, that's fast. That's fast. Right? Let me see something. The notification popped up, but I don't. Wait a minute. It popped up, but let me see if I could. There we go. Wait a minute. Yeah. You made a dear colleague. Dear colleague. Damn, that was fast. But look, you gotta make a longer right. You gotta make a longer one where I actually said no, but we got a debrief from Ed like in the beginning of the my response. You gotta make a longer one. But that look, I'm gonna add that. I think I have to find a way to like include that in my intro. Right? Yeah, easy. You'll see her next year. Shout out to Edward Anderson. Ed be low key funny as hell. Right. Thank you, Dell. And Dell says Lori Harvey's attractive to me. She's pretty. She's genuinely pretty. She's who Brittany Renner thinks she is. And Brittany Renner's cute. But they both toxic as hell. Right? Lori Harvey is who Brittany Renner thinks she is. Right? And Dell says Lori Harvey should be radioactive to any man with any kind of status. Right? I ain't even gonna read that one out loud, Compassionate. But even if she is, she's bad enough to find her. Look, man, you done messed up. So you, if let's say you're right, Compassionate. Let's say you're right. Shouldn't that give her even more reason to have stayed under Michael B. Jordan? I don't even do the IQ thing, but okay. Let's say you missed a couple of points on the IQ test. All right, you missed a couple of points. Fine. That's even more reason to get under the rich, famous black man and stay there. Right? Oh, Afro National, you gave me a new phrase. Homie hopper. Afro National said homie hopper. Jeez. Oh, that's funny. Not homie hopper. Oh, he said homie hopper. Jeez. It's so benign sounding. Oh, it's all about you. Hey, the end of it's all about you. See the Snoop video? Did you turn around and shit? I'm gonna just be adding extra stuff, but that's not exactly what they said. But then you see the Dre video. Then you see that the Million Man March. Oh man. Yeah, Compassionate. Yep. And remember, she went from the son then to the dad. The son then the dad, bruh. Hey. You heard what Future said. Tell Steve Harvey I don't want her. I'm just saying. Yeah, Compassionate. Yeah, 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 yep. Man. Divorce the mama this year, get with the daughter next year. Venom Sid got to keep it in the family. You mean Woody Allen style? Oops. Right? Even though she was adopted. But either way, right? Man, you never know what Z knows. I'm not saying I know. Oh boy. I'm not even going to read it. I ain't even going to read it, Detroit. I'm not. I'm not even going to read it. Right? Detroit already with the mess. Right? Man. But I okay. So I see that happening more and more. If we're gonna have a tying that to the subject matter, if we're gonna do that, if the wealth disparity in this country and the income disparity gets even more egregious, then you're gonna have it's going to be a more blatant polygamy. It's still gonna be soft polygamy. I don't know if I ever see the US making polygamy legal outside of the Mormons, right? I don't know if I see it becoming legal. I think we'll just see a more blatant soft polygamy, right? Where it's going to be known, it's going to be understood. This man will not get married, or he will have one official wife on paper. And then people will know, hey, this is the big dog in the city. And I'm not just speaking about black men, I'm saying white men, Latino men, Asian men, but mainly white men, black men, and Latino men. And yeah, this is his wife, but these are the women that nobody touched, and these are his quote unquote wives, and it'll be like 6, 7, 8 of them in the city, right? So yeah, man, I'm telling you, I do think that that and up here, I do think that's going to be a thing. If this continues, I'm saying, if this continues, I think far more women than America's willing to admit are perfectly okay for the lifestyle, and maybe even not. And y'all like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. Maybe not even for like an extreme lifestyle, for a nice stability. I think far more women than America's willing to admit are perfectly okay with. Wasn't as a matter of fact, we saw that with what's his name out of Atlanta that passed away. Shorty Low. Shorty Low. And remember, they wanted to make a TV show out of that. Right? Compassion says, send me an email. Send me an email. Send me an email. And Compassion says, Z, give me access to your post and shorts, and we'll have you 5K by month in. No cap. Right? Tell about that. Let me click that link that you put in. Give me a second. Give me a second. Let me go to my page so I could get to this link. You minute. But yeah, no, I could see that. I could see it becoming more and more of a thing. And I'm not even just speaking about like, struggling people. I definitely see um more and more women signing up for that. For stability, for opulence. Yeah, I definitely see it. I definitely see it. Right? Sign the paper, bro. Ed killed. I'm not even like Ed killed me when he said sign the effing paperwork. Z, right? It was that killed me. It's not the if I see him in my class again, I'm coming to see you. But no, when he said sign the effing paperwork, I lost it. Right? Shout out to Edward Anderson, because I could really see me and Ed working in the school. He really barges into the counselor office. Z, sign the effing paperwork, Z. I want him out of my class. Right? I would die. Right? They're not salvageable, Z. At least expel them. Maybe next year. Sign the effing paperwork, Z. Don't suspend them. I want them expelled. You see what she said? Look. Right? No, you know what else killed me? It's when he was doing the B-Taylor. Oh. When Ed said, oh, I was like, bro, you ever like remember something funny and then you kind of laugh to yourself and you look like a crazy person? I'm at work and I have one headphone in and I'm listening to Ed and I'm listening, right? And he said, and they over here like, oh, and when he said, oh, I died. I was gone. Bruh. that oh man, hey, for real. In compassion says Ed would be a hilarious teacher, low key. Exactly, bruh. When Ed said, oh, like, because it's funny because that's exactly. So I don't recall if B. Taylor did that or not, but her whole demeanor kind of exposing Princella was that, right? Where she was trying to still be like boss B. I guess you can't even say I don't need no man. Now it's I don't need a person type energy, but at the same time, she didn't want to claim playing victim, but she was essentially saying she was a victim, right? Or at least she allowed herself to be a victim because Princella caught her at a vulnerable state. Okay, you know what? That could happen. That could happen to someone. If you was on a man's program, that would have not happened. But okay, fine. But the demeanor was definitely, even though she might not have said it, it was definitely, oh. And so when Edge said it, oh man, bro, he summed it up just in that right there summed up everything she was saying. It's not even a real word. Oh. Oh man, bro, that killed me. Oh, it killed me. Oh. Oh man. Look, we have some real legit people in the Black manosphere that we really are the Avengers. We are the Avengers. We really are. Better you were men. Our bar is for that is different. Better you says, nah, I ain't never vulnerable enough to try some same-sex BS. True indeed, but you don't care to spite women as much as I think Black women care to spite Black men. Right? I think that applies to all of us. We don't care to spite. You imagine, like, and I don't think we're as loud about it. Perfectly, like, here's a example. Talking about, and if Dr. Dunbar is still here, Dr. Chris Marsh says, and she says this on multiple interviews now. She has said there's something there because for men, there gets a point where they say at a certain age or at a certain time, they're no longer open for marriage. Or I'm paraphrasing, but that's what she's getting at, right? Like for the women, they're always open, right? For men, they have like this time when they're like, okay, I'm not even trying to do, long-term relationship marriage thing anymore. And yeah, Dr. Chris Marsh, because we're not delusional. And plus we know, and shout out to the Raj Report, he said it so eloquently, and I'm about to butcher it, but I think he said he was talking to a white woman, and when he said at a certain age he's gonna cut off the like marriage prospect, And he had to explain it to her. Yeah, because we know we're going to carry the relationship financially. And there's a certain time when you're like, why am I going to start the clock at 55? Right? Why am I going to start the clock at 52? So yes, in the back of Min's mind is this calculus. And that still don't mean she might not divorce you. You imagine? What am I being 63 years old getting divorced? What? So yes, women hold out because women are not expected in our society, Dr. Chris Marsh, to carry the relationship financially. Women may carry the relationship financially for a time, but that's not an expectation put on their shoulders, no matter how old or young they are. So that is something to consider, Dr. Chris Marsh. That I definitely understand it. At a certain age, for minutes, am I going to start the clock at whatever age it is for them? For some, it's 50, some it's maybe mid 50s, some it's late 40s. And I'm tying that to the conversation by saying the women are out here loud as hell. I could do better by myself. I ain't gonna settle for. The men actually mean it though. Oops. Mr. Z talks because, well, Mr. Z talks, and that's what I'm supposed to do. I'm part of the Black Manosphere. But for the most, men ain't talking. Dr. Chris Marsh, if you didn't do this, if you weren't the author for this book, how would you would have never known, excuse me, you would have never known that, would you? You would have never known that. But no, yes, men have decided, depending on the man, whatever age it is for him, at this point, absolutely not. Nope. Get married and have children now? Nah. Nope. Right? Afro National said, oops, right? Shh. No, I hear you, Afro National, but no, yeah, the women are talking, oh, I'm not gonna settle. I could do battle by myself. Yeah, y'all saying that sound nice because it sounds like veiled threats. The men, on the other hand, really mean it. And Dr. Chris Marsh, if you didn't have that book, you would have never known. Now you know, and now you're like, oh, I wonder what's there. I wonder why. Because we're not doing this to threaten women. That's the difference. We can be quiet about it because we're not using it as a threat, as a gamble. Well, if you don't get on my page, I'd rather be single. No, we really mean it. Right? And rather be single doesn't mean you don't have adult fun. Rather be single doesn't mean you don't have somebody you have a little situation with. Shout out to the Roger Report. He hates that. A little agreement with. But rather be single means long-term relationship, children, marriage. Nope. Right? And why would a man sign up for that after whatever age it is to him in his mind? What? Oh no, you're gonna meet the right one. Pfft. Yeah, that's it. So for PhD Dr. Chris Marsh to not get it, and I wonder if she's saying she doesn't get it because she really doesn't, or if she's just like kind of saying that, you know, when journalists ask a question they know the answer to, but they just ask it for the audience to get confirmation. I wonder if she really doesn't get it. Let me say it like a Florida native, or definitely a South Florida native. Ain't no reach back, bih. And it's BIH, bih. We don't say the whole word, right? And that's a response to Afro National. The proof is in the reach back. Nope. And Compassionate says gray divorces are increasing too. What is the point? Maybe I'm not at that age. I don't know, but you know, maybe it's because I'm not at that age. But What? Imagine getting divorced in your 60s. What are you doing? Exactly. Compassionate says she gets it, bro. She's an effing demographer. Exactly. She know. Dr. Chris Marsh, you should tell the ladies, hey, these men ain't playing. When they say they ain't getting married at whatever age it is for him, he mean it. We over here with the veiled threats, hoping, and it really is, I hope that I'm going to throw this threat out there, and I hope there's a man that's going to try to overcome it and prove himself to me. The men are saying, no, when I get to this age, I'm done. You could catch me on. We could negotiate something as a little situation, but at this age, anything more than a situation is a no go, and we mean it, right? Compassion also goes on to say, assigning meaning to the numbers is her job. Uh-oh. Why didn't she just come out and say it, right? Especially when she did the interview with the brother and the sister on whatever channel that is. I can't remember. With that they did the interview with Amanda Seals also, right? Relationships Restored. I don't know why I keep on forgetting the name of that channel, right? Y'all, it's been 2 hours. All right, let's pause right here. Okay, look, Mr. Z over here, right? Got things to do. Miss Z is definitely asleep right now. I done messed up, right? But I definitely wanted to channel the rage, the anger, the angst of young men in this, especially in the beginning. Um, let's be very clear. If the game is rigged for older white Americans primarily to hoard the wealth and pass it on to their younger extra children, their millennial children, and their oldest of Gen Z children, then so be it. Deal with the consequences of the masses of men that don't have that and their indifference. No, they're not going to marry your daughters. Well, your daughters don't even want to marry them because your daughters think they're better than them. So, no, they're not going to get involved with their community. What community? Yes, they're okay with fiddling while Rome works. Am I saying that's right? No, I'm not saying that's right. Am I saying that's just? But what did you expect? You want them to invest in a society that hasn't invested in them. There's a consequence to that. If you want your young men to invest in a society, invest in this society, invest in this nation, then you have to give them an incentive. And your little a-hole daughter's funky vagina is not good enough. Your little mean, condescending, entitled, materialistic daughter and her little funky vagina, whether it's a high mileage vagina or not, is not good enough incentive. It's not. Your daughter driving these young men into an early grave with her mouth and entitlement and her materialism is not a good enough incentive. It's not. Dear Steve Harvey, dear Shaq, dear Shira Seven, dear all of you with daughters, from social media famous to real famous, mainstream famous, all of you who are not famous, if you raise a little a-hole, condescending, mean, snarky, materialistic daughter, especially a black one, you better hope for God that your daughter could catch one of these lame slipping in college. Because once she get out of college and she try it, ooh, have fun. You better hope she catch them in school, whether that's grad school, law school, because everything after that, and so on that note, everyone, we'll pause right there. Right? Let me hurry up and actually remind myself to highlight this. And Afro National, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. Right? And so we will pause right there, everyone. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Hope you have a great rest of your night. Um, we need to be honest with the elders. I'm not about them going peacefully in the night, not appreciating us, especially the white ones. Y'all older white co-workers, all of them 60 plus, 65 plus, when they start talking about, these young men ain't men no more, and especially the white ones, the black ones too, but especially the white ones. Ooh, I be getting on their ass. Y'all better ask somebody. Ask my white coworkers, especially the ones 55 and older, 60 and older. I tell them straight up, oh yeah, your kid's gonna be living with you well into their 20s, maybe even their 30s. Oh, I burst that bubble. Ooh, you better believe it. No, they not. Z, watch it. Right? You think I spared the white ones? Mr. Z ain't scared of no white man like that. I tell them straight up, your white kids, or you don't got a nest egg for them? Right? You weren't saving for them to go to university or college? All right, watch. Right? And Chaos, this is the link for his channel. Right? So on that note, everyone, we will truly pause right there. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Once again, KMS, thank you for the super chat. And Afro National, thank you for the super sticker. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Today's Tuesday, right? So I think our new style should be streaming. Y'all go check out art. All right, y'all. Mr. Z out.